be safe. That's how I see it. The safe choice is not to have children. In fact, the safe choice is not to get married. The safe choice is to take few risks in life, live as much as possible for the moment, and that is what has become the dominant ethos of our time. Another example, please put it under the heading of consequences of secularism. Religious people have more kids. Everybody knows that. You don't even need a study for that. Every one of you knows that. You meet somebody with 4 or 5 children, let alone more, you have every reason to assume they are either a Mormon or LDS, as they prefer, an Orthodox Jew, a religious Catholic, or an evangelical Christian, right? How many secular people do you know who have 5 or more children? The odds are 0. Certainly true for me. They exist, but they are so rare as to be unknown to the vast majority of us. So this is just another example of the consequences of secularism. You know, we are living in the age of the irrational. Never in American history has the irrational been so dominant as today. And that, too, is a consequence, ironically, for those who believe that secularism ushered in the age of reason, in fact, of secularism. In other words, there's far more rational thinking among religious Americans than among irreligious Americans. I'm not talking about religious beliefs. Religious beliefs are not all fully in the realm of reason. That's true. That's why they're called faith. But when you apply it to society, there's no comparison that you will get far more rational responses to life from more religious people than non-religious people. Why have children? Why is this couple wrong? They want to travel more. They want to dine out more. They don't want to have to take care of somebody all the time, right? Why have a child? You have a secular answer? Well, there actually are a couple of secular answers that would apply whether you're religious or secular. How about this to begin with? Purpose of life is not to avoid difficulty. The purpose of life is not to play it safe. The purpose of life is not to have as much fun at any given moment as possible, since fun and happiness are not the same thing. There are tremendous risks in having children, especially if you send them to an American school. They may end up an a-hole. That's just the way it is, unfortunately. There are actually more risks in having a child today than at any time in American history. Except the risks in the past were that they wouldn't live past childhood. That's true. Today, it's that they won't be a decent human being or think clearly because they went to school. It's a different risk today than in Abraham Lincoln's time. You want to grow up? That's the argument for marriage. I'd like to grow up. There is no human being that I know of, and probably that you don't know, who does not believe that they matured as a result of marriage, even if the marriage was awful. Same thing holds for having a child. Also, isn't it the arrogance of these people who write the study? How do you measure happiness? What do? You ask people who decided to have no children, are you happy? And you ask people who have children, are you happy? And then you make the comparison. 1-8-PRAGER 776. Back in a moment.